Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Tottenham won, Liverpool 3. And I mean, is it coincidence or is it something else that in the same game week where Manchester United's 14-game unbeaten run ends, Liverpool find some form back again after 5 games. They finally pick up a big win against Tottenham. I mean, it's probably coincidence, but it's interesting as well how the narratives change. Right, 3 days ago there's something else, now there's something else, but we'll get into it. But I mean, it's another defeat for Spurs. It's a welcome win for Liverpool, and is the title challenge now back on again for Liverpool? We'll answer that question and we'll get to that in a moment, but let's start with this game. And it's interesting when you think about 3 days ago, all the talk that was before the game as far as Liverpool were concerned is you know is Liverpool's team finally crumbling? Are the players finally losing that little bit of intensity, that little bit of desire? Probably. I mean, is this Dortmund again? Towards the end of Klopp's reign, that it was is again. I thought that was a bit of an exaggeration. By the way, the last statement, I thought that was an exaggeration. I don't think we're anywhere near that moment yet. I think Liverpool are just in a bad space because they don't have the players the depth that they need to have. They don't have that, and so there's issues. But I don't think we're there yet as far as the team probably coming to the end of its cycle. I don't think we're there yet. Um, and I think Spurs probably sensed that a little bit. They realized Liverpool were there for the taking, but I just think Jose Mourinho doesn't help himself with his team selections. The way he sets his teams up, it's just asking for trouble. It's always asking for trouble, and you could see it right from the off. I mean, throughout the whole game, what's going to be troubling Spurs fans and what's going to be troubling Mourinho, maybe if he thinks that way, is the fact that Liverpool would never really threaten. I mean, there was the Hojbjerg, pile driver cracking goal, incredible goal. Doesn't deserve to be on the losing side, but that goal, but it is on the losing side. But what a goal that was! And I think there was a moment where Son sort of peeled away from Matip and then got a shot away. But aside from those moments, I don't think Spurs really threatened Liverpool. They were never really in danger, never really looked like conceding. And that's fine. As Liverpool haven't been defensively that bad. Even during this run, they've been pretty good. But still, you expect a team of Spurs quality to do better, and they didn't. And Liverpool just looked like there was it's about trying to find passes, trying to make things happen. And then today was one of those games where everything kind of clicks, so things happen. The first goal, it was again shocking defending. I mean, I thought I saw comical defending yesterday. I think Liverpool's first goal might actually rival the second goal that Sheffield scored yesterday. The way it starts is Aurier basically, it's like he's trying to play someone offside. He's trying to play Mane offside. Doesn't realize that Dier, I think, was the one who's already moved back. So he's playing onside. And Aurier is waiting for the offside flag to go up, which is never going to go up. Mane gets the ball. He's allowed to cross, which again, he shouldn't be allowed to cross, but he's allowed to cross. Dier, for some reason, decides to leave it because he thinks Hugo Lloris is going to carry it. Either he thinks Hugo Lloris is going to catch it, or he thinks that there's no one behind him. But Bobby Firmino is behind him. I think Lloris is kind of pulled out as well. If you watch, Lloris is kind of a little bit hesitant as well because he's seeing Dier in front of him, so they don't want to clatter each other. Both of them kind of let it go, and it's a simple goal for Firmino. I mean, it's probably not as comical as a Sheffield's second goal, but still, it's just incredible sometimes what happens at the top level in the Premier League. Very comical goal to concede. I mean, and it was twice the stroke of halftime. It's always demoralizing when you go into the break, having done such a lot of hard work to keep it nil, and then you concede in first half stoppage time. It really takes a lot out of you. It was 1-0, well-deserved lead to Liverpool though. And Harry Kane had to go off injured, and then that's just you could almost sense that second half where if Liverpool got a goal, it was going to be game over. It just felt that way, and they got a goal right at the start of the second half. I thought that was just again more poor defending, letting the cross come in. Lloris doesn't deal with it very well at all, where he just parries it away, and then it's just like, well, it's just like an assist for Alexander-Arnold, who just goes and slams it home. I mean, he's been under a lot of pressure this season, so it would have felt good for him to get that goal and then to get the assist for Sadio Mane to score as well. But it's like, yeah, I think it was Sadio Mane. Yeah, Sadio Mane scored a brilliant goal, and yeah, it was Sadio Mane, wasn't it? Yeah, he scored that last goal. And Salah had a goal there as well, but that was ruled out for handball. And I said tweeted this. I thought that was going to be really really controversial if that goal was just louder, and somehow Spurs managed to make their way back in the game. But of course, it just didn't feel like that was going to happen the way Liverpool were playing. What was interesting to note though was the fact that this Liverpool looked a lot like last season Liverpool. The goals, a lot of them, they were counter attacks, they were breakaways. There's so many of them. That's how Liverpool have played. They're very good defensively, and very good at win the ball back and then quickly breaking forward. And it's almost like a sponge or a spring, right? Where you call it and immediately it comes out and you go straight at the other end and create chances. I thought that was perfect from Liverpool today, the way they played. They executed the game plan perfectly. I think it helped that they had a little bit more bite in midfield, because they didn't have to play defenders in midfield. I think it helped that a little bit. Though Fabinho wasn't there, but I thought the link between midfield and attack was very very good, and as well the link between defense and midfield. Sorry, it was good as well. I think Thiago is now, we're starting to see the best of him. I think he's now up to full fitness. I think he's going to get better and better and better. That's really going to help Liverpool as well. I thought this was one of his better games. And this might have been one of his best games for Liverpool, but some others might say this was not. But I think this was one of his better games for Liverpool, and I think he's now getting up to speed, realizing what he needs to do. I don't think he likes playing in that as that deep lying midfielder. I think he needs to play a little bit more forward, which is what he did today. He played a little bit more forward, and I thought he looked very good. So I mean, there are positive signs for Liverpool there, and that's going to be ominous for the rest of the league and the rest of the teams around them. But I mean, we have to start by talking about Spurs. I mean, well, before that, the strike from Hojbjerg was absolutely incredible. I mean, I put it all caps. It was absolutely incredible. But again, it was one of those moments, right, where you score a goal. It's one of those things where you get a clean strike and you score, but those are not the kind of goals that can win you games week in, week out. That's not the kind of goals that you want to be scoring, that you want to be relying on scoring week in, week out, because nobody can score them week in, week out. You get them once in a while, and they're good to look at. But I mean, as a team of Spurs quality needs to do more. I thought but that was brilliant from Hojbjerg. I thought he was probably one of the better players for Spurs today as well, along with Joe Rodon. I thought they were really good. But I mean, the body language from Spurs, though, especially after that second goal, they just looked defeated. I mean, even the goal aside, it didn't look like they had that self-belief that they could get back into this game. Mourinho's bellowing. There were so many errors in defense. It looked a little bit nervous as well. I mean, it's funny to think, when you start the season, we're talking about Spurs, 6-1 against United, the way they played, you really thought that Spurs could do something, and maybe talk of a title challenge of a title win rather was too far fetched. But you felt that they could challenge for the title. They had something there, but I mean, it's back again to trying to get into the top four, and I mean that there's got to be questions now asked of Mourinho as well, because the fact is his tactics are not working, and they don't seem to work. So what do you do? Do you keep faith with him, or do you think that it's just it's more of the same? And I mean, that's the question I think the Spurs fans will answer. I don't know. If you're a Spurs fan, please comment and let me know what do you think about Jose Mourinho. Do you think do you think he should stay at the club beyond this season? I mean, it might be moot because the fact the Spurs are still in 3 trophies. They could win the Carabao Cup, they could win the FA Cup, they could win the Europa League. And I do feel that they'll probably win a trophy this season. I just have a feeling that they're probably going to win a trophy at some point this season. But I mean, is that enough? Is that enough to keep the Mourinho gravy train rolling? That's a question for even to ask. I just feel that this is more the old Mourinho. There isn't a new Mourinho. It's just the same old, where it's about at the start you try to get all offensive and really play good expansive football, and then as the season goes on, the team just gets more and more defensive. Mourinho starts to go more and more to shell, trying to get 3 points rather than trying to play well, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Teams figure it out. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for a long time. So I mean, can he change? Can he adapt? Yes. Will he? Probably not. If history is any suggestion. So what are the alternatives? What are the options? But let me know in the comments. What do you think if you're a Spurs fan? I don't really have many strong. I mean, I don't really rate Mourinho much. I think his time at United proved that he's a very limited manager, and that he needs certain conditions to work in his favor for him to be able to do anything of note at this point. But I'd be interested to hear what Spurs fans think about Jose Mourinho. So if you're a Spurs fan and you're watching this, please do mention in the comments what do you think. But coming to Liverpool, I mean, it was good. It was good performance, a much needed performance as well. Not just the fact that they won, but I think the fact that they won so convincing, they won so convincingly, they won playing the way that has got them this far, which shows that they haven't lost that touch. I think that is really, really key today, and that is going to help them a lot. It's going to help Klopp a lot. It's definitely going to ease a lot of pressure. They're now once again, within touching distance of the top 2 or the top, whatever you want to call it. They're really doing really, really. They've now got a little bit of form. Obviously, the question is, can they keep this going? And I think that will determine where they go. It's going to be interesting because I think United are going to lose and we'll do the preview for United Arsenal. But I mean, I think United have lost a bit of momentum with that Sheffield result. They have. So now, they will be within touching distance. I think the gap now is 3 points between themselves and United. I'm just going to open the table here to look at. Yeah, so right now the gap is 3 points between United and Liverpool. And then it's just a further 4 points, though Liverpool City have played a game more. It's 4 points to City, though they have played a game more. the thing is, if Liverpool can win the next game and hope somehow by some miracle maybe City drop the points, I don't think they will. I think City will win. You'd assume that it's going to be interesting because then Liverpool play Man City, and that I think is going to be the crunch game. If Liverpool can win that game somehow, they can manage to win that game. They're right back in the title hunt. I think then the title challenge is back on for them. I think if they lose that game, I think then it's curtains for the title challenge, because I can't see City losing to any team other than Liverpool at this point. And maybe they lose to Liverpool, maybe there might be some little bit of doubts creeping in, maybe something might happen, but because then it's just because assuming right now that Liverpool City win the game in hand, it's a 7-point season. If they lose to Liverpool, that's 4 points. It's still a lot. 4 points is still a lot, but it might be a chance where they could maybe drop a couple of games. Maybe that's a possibility. But if they win that, then you're looking at essentially at a 10-point lead. And I think that's too much to bridge with the games that will be left. So I think that game is going to be critical. But I think at this point that this win now, and if they can win the next game, that will give them a little bit of momentum going into the City game, and maybe they can get their title challenge back on. So I don't think Liverpool are out of it by any means. I didn't think they were out of it anyway, even with this poor run of form. I didn't think they were out of it. I always felt that the next 2 or 3 games were going to determine it, and that's what's going to happen now. We're going to know at the end of the Man City Liverpool game. I think we will be able to tell with a more clear picture of where Liverpool's season is going to be headed. As far as that's concerned. But the game of us today was absolutely sensational, absolutely phenomenal the way they played. And I think that's definitely going to give them a lot of confidence going forward. I mean, the big winners, I think, for this result, if it was a draw, I think City would have been really, really happy. I think the loss might give a little bit of confidence to Leicester. It will be it's a good result for Leicester. It's a good result for Man United. In some ways, it's a good result for Arsenal, Chelsea, because now, I mean, Chelsea drew, but in effect, Chelsea gained a point, Leicester gained a point, Everton gained a point. United didn't lose any ground that they had, and Arsenal have gained 3 points on Spurs. And I think that's what's going to be. West Ham, even West Ham, and they're around there as well. I mean, it's at the moment so tight. Liverpool Spurs have played a game less, so they do have a game in hand. But you just feel at the moment like Spurs are starting to slip away from that top 4 conversation. And I think Mourinho's got some thinking to do of how he's going to rearrange that, how he's going to get them back on track, and that's going to be the key now going forward. But I mean, it's sad to see, because when we saw the season started for Spurs, that 2-0 win over City promised so much, and then since then it's just been downhill from there. It's really not taken off in the way that anybody hoped for. But I mean, that's Spurs' problem. I'm sure Liverpool fans don't mind that at all. And for Liverpool, I think this could be this could be a blip. This could be the start of something interesting for the rest of the season. So we'll see where that goes. I think there's so many intriguing subplots. There's still so many twists and turns probably left in the title race as well. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you for watching. Please do smash a like if you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the game, please do smash a like and let us know what you think. If you're a Spurs fan, if you're a Liverpool fan, what do you think about the game? What do you think? Spurs could have done differently. What do you think Liverpool did right today? What do you think Liverpool can keep doing? In the next few games coming up. I mean, it's shaping up to be an interesting few weeks now, as far as the Premier League, the title race is concerned. So let us know what you think. And please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Really appreciate your support. I want to keep producing these videos. We want to keep doing more of these, and your subscription, your support really helps in that. So please do subscribe if you're new, and if you're watching this on YouTube, that we really, really appreciate it. So have a good night or day, whatever time you're watching this. Take care, and we'll see you again very soon. We'll be back tomorrow with a match preview for the United Arsenal game. That's a big game this Saturday. As far as the top 4 race is concerned, I think that's a big game. So you're going to do the preview for that. So watch out for that one. But until then, take care. Bye-bye.